everybody. I'm Krasia Tasio. I have a pleasure to have Prash Trivedi with me. He doesn't need any introduction. You know Prash Trivedi with his work, with his books, with his teaching, guru work. So Prash, thank you very much for accepting my invitation. Thank you. Thank you once again for being on my channel. People really loved our previous interviews. And I would like this time us to discuss Jupiter-Saturn conjunction the coming year 2021, because nothing is more important than this. So Prash, I just give it to you. Please, let's discuss this future, because we're living in interesting times.
Okay. So people who know the sidereal system, the sidereal system, they know that.
Yeah, we both use sidereal astrology.
Yeah. So I'll be talking in that terms. It is happening in the sign of Capricorn. Okay. So, okay.
Just excuse me, Prash, just one word to say. Sidereally, Jupiter and Saturn will meet in Capricorn. Tropically, this is happening in Aquarius, in the first degree of Aquarius, for those who will be wondering. Yeah.
Okay. So what is happening is, this is the conjunction in Earth sign as per sidereal. Okay. So Capricorn is an Earth sign. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now the thing was that, like, there was a cycle which was started in whenever Jupiter-Saturn conjunction occurs in 3 times. Every 20 years it happens. Okay. So if 3 times it happens in the same sign, like either fire, earth, air, or water, then it is the age of that particular element. Okay. So 200 years ago, we had this 3 conjunctions in fire signs, Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions, 200 years ago. Okay. So at the time, this fire age started. Okay. This time, with this conjunction and the next one and the next one, all 3 will be in earth signs. So 60 years, okay, all in earth signs. So that means, what is the age is changing from fire to
Earth, obviously.
Earth. Okay. So what happens when something changes from fire to earth? Okay. What happened in last 200 years? If you look at what happened in the last 200 years, we have Industrial Revolution. Okay. What is the main thing in Industrial Revolution? Fire. How do machines run? How does steam engine run? How does motor car run? Okay. Everything which is there, machines, motor car, everything is dependent on what element? Fire. Combustion, internal combustion engine, steam engine, anything. All these engines, which has made the current age. Okay. And so fire is what? Mental things as well. Lot of movement. People moved around the world, right? Like a lot of people, much more movement. Plain saying, like earlier, there's not so much movement. People now went to anywhere in the world, because fire spreads, right? Quickly.
Yes.
It's fast, moving fast, and things like that. So now we are going to Earth polarity. Now that's a huge shift. Okay. So what is Earth polarity? Earth polarity is actually stability, food, basics, the actuality of living. People have gone away from basics. They don't know what to eat, what to do anymore, anything, how to take care of your body, how to do the basics properly. None of that has been any importance in the last even school system, even the 50 years, 75 years. It's not been of any importance. Okay. Now all those things will be of importance. How this society is organized, the structures, the government. Okay. So like there are 3 earth signs, right? Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Okay. Taurus is what? All the earth's bounties, earth, food, which comes out of that. Virgo is the organization of all these material things. Okay. And then Capricorn is the final distribution among the masses and what is called government right now. Okay. Now, this first one is happening in Capricorn. Okay, Jupiter is happening. Okay, so what does need to change first? The structure, the government structure. Okay, that needs to change. Okay, but right now, by now, have all people in this year realized that government needs to change or not? Have every people in every country realized this or not? Like, are are people happy with their government in any country?
True. Absolutely.
You can take any country on the earth. Are people happy with their government? What they have done in the last?
None of us, none of them.
Nobody. Okay,
Nobody.
nobody's happy. Nobody's happy now. Okay, so Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is saying, okay, now you have to change this.
Yes.
The system will require a change. You cannot carry on with the same system. You're dragging on this so-called democracy. People think government is for them. Government is made by them. It's for them, but it's not the truth. It's not the reality. Okay, so people have to understand that, and the system has to change. It has to go a full, complete change. Now, how the change will happen and what the new thing will be depends on people. Okay, but change will happen anyway. It will not carry on like this. Okay, change is 100% guaranteed. Okay, and Jupiter starting with Capricorn, that means you start from, okay, the overall system change. The governmental systems, the way the whole system is organized. Okay, in all countries. And we are already seeing the signs of that.
Oh, yeah.
We are already, the stage is set for next 2 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like for this, it's already set, and now it will just play out. Now people will have to decide what they want to do and what kind of new system they want. Everybody will have their ideas, everybody will have their agendas. Okay, there are all kinds of agendas which will come in, but finally people will have to see what do they want from this. Okay, and like I had given in a talk on 2019 3rd November, we talked about that, and I said things are going to change in the next 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah, and after that, we know this year what has happened already. Okay,
Yes.
Now this is actually happening, and the good thing which is about this conjunction is, which is from the Vedic perspective, which other people might not know, is that it is happening very close to Abhijit Nakshatra. Abhijit Nakshatra is sort of around 640 in Capricorn. Okay, onwards. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so another 10 degrees from there. Okay, so that is called Abhijit Nakshatra. Okay, so that particular field is good for new beginnings.
Yes.
It is a specific nakshatra field within Jyotish, which says that this will be a new beginning. Okay, and the victory of the gods, it's called. Okay, undefeated. Okay, it's basically that divine forces always win.
Always win.
Yes. Yeah, in the end,
So
that
when in the end, this end can take some time, right?
but they always win in the end. So there is a promise here.
Okay.
In this Jupiter Saturn, and it is a thing which is more serious, like because Saturn here is involved very closely as well. So there has to be a practical sense. It's not just Jupiterian optimism.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's in Saturn sign, so it has to be Saturn's practical sense, which is what people have not been paying attention to over the last 200 years. I would say even in the last 40-50 years, even more. Okay, because Saturday is considered a day of getting drunk now, mostly. Okay, if you
yes.
Yeah, so I don't think Saturn has been very, very useful or adhered to, like as the graha of discipline, of self-discipline. All of that has not been applied to Saturn. So the Saturnine values are very missing.
Yeah.
They're very missing, and people will realize that Saturnine things will mean something again. You can't just be any which way.
No.
And get away with it. Times will be tough for people who have that kind of mentality.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So people who are Saturnine already and who are, ready to, live in a disciplined manner or be disciplined, things will be easier for them.
Yes.
That's
And
that's what
moral, also moral values as well.
Yeah, and the ones who have that thing, like some beings say, no, I want this. You can't have everything right now.
No.
So everyone will have to discipline, one have to curtail, will have to limit. Okay, and there are some people who are okay with that, and some people who are not okay with that. Okay, so it is more of a problem for the beings who are not like. Okay, so any kind of bratty attitudes, nonsensical that things, and too much, expansion, any of these will not be happening in this current conjunction. Okay, and it is a 20-year effect for each one, Jupiter Saturn conjunction, because it happens once in 20 years, right? So it sets a stage for 20 years. Yeah. So there's a short period of thing, 2 years, and then there's a 20-year period. Okay, but within the 20-year period, everything should change. Totally.
Yes, gradually.
Yeah. So there's a short burst in this year itself, 2021. A lot of changes will happen. Because both stay in Capricorn. And when Jupiter goes to Aquarius, then we'll see the Aquarian influence come in.
That's what I wanted to ask you about Jupiter. In April, he enters Aquarius until September. The energies will shift a little bit, will change a bit.
Yeah. It'll shift, like the Aquarian angle will come into that thing.
Yeah.
Because finally, all of this is happening within the age of Aquarius. That's the big picture. Okay. That's the big picture. This is a smaller frame in that picture. Okay. So it's a 20-year frame. But it's just still a smaller frame. But finally, all this so-called governing structures around the world have to fall. Because they are nonsensical. There is no point to any of them. None of them are real. Nothing is that thing.
Absolutely.
They are just corrupt.
And they know it. That's why they're pushing so hard now.
Yeah. They're all corrupt. Everything. Finally, situation has come down to a point where people will have to say, like, okay, if you don't do that, you can't even survive. So when matter comes down to, when Earth sign, what happens? The matter comes down to survival. Because it's about actual physical earthly matter, which is survival. Will you get food to eat? Will you be, it will come down to this sort of thing.
You think it will go that far that people will not be able to?
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, like, if it carries on like that, that's what the next thing is. Food shortages. Because Earth sign will always bring things down to all the neglected things. Right now, they came to a point where people thought they will be just lost in their phones or devices or things like that. They don't have to worry about anything practical.
No.
Yeah, and that is the general thing which this age has created first. This fire thing. So people have gone like that. Now people will be brought down to the ground. When you're down to the ground, what does it mean when you are brought down to the ground? You come to know the ground realities of life and existence on this plane. Okay. So people will have to face that, which no one wants to face. No one wants to go into the nitty-gritty of what it actually takes to survive. See what I'm saying? It won't take a mobile phone to survive. You can't eat a phone.
No.
Yeah, but that's what people think right now. They have a mobile phone and they can type something on it, then everything is good.
It is.
So this, so this is what, it is going to bring them to the fact that it is not about that. Like writing something somewhere. It will be about actual realities, physical reality, and even all this vaccine thing which is happening, it's a physical reality, isn't it? It's not a mental thing, right?
No, true.
Everything is a physical thing to do with your body, right? Physical thing, actual thing, nothing, not some mental construct. people will have to take some physical level decisions.
It's a matter of decision. Very true. Yeah.
And physical level decisions, not just mental level, because I've always been saying that people should take control of their body, control of the body, and meditation, all of that. Now that will come into people don't do that, don't do meditating. That thing, they will be much more, the chaos which will come, they will not be able to handle it.
No.
No, because they won't have the, centering or anything to be able to face the situation. So when things get more chaotic or tense or crazy, the more center you need within yourself.
Center. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So the meditation, which is centering only, meditation means centration. Okay. So all of those practices are necessary, like having a proper control over body. Like people who are suffering physically right now, like people who are diseases and stuff this year, they already suffered more because they couldn't go to any doctors.
No.
Yeah. None of that was possible. Because
maybe for good, because the doctors turned into enemies now.
Enemies, yes. So what I'm saying is, yeah, but they couldn't even do anything to like all cures they could have to do by own discipline.
Yes.
Not by relying on somebody to give them some. Okay. So this situation was created even this year, right? So the more and more situation will be like that. People will understand that their own body, their own health, their own everything, their own existence, their own evolution is their responsibility. It's not some government which will take care of them. Government is not there to take care of you.
No.
Which they have realized. So what I'm saying is the stage is set for that change of structure. So with their protests all around the world, the protests are there everywhere, everywhere in the world. So now they have to take a more solid form, not just speaking slogan, or you have to do something practical and practically deinstall the structures. Not just.
Do you see this as a more serious war or a serious revolution?
This is earth sign. This is not, fire sign is what? Okay, you can just go out there and protest and speak something or put some. That's just fire sign. Okay, there's nothing.
The fire is gone and you come and you go home and it's over. But it's not like that, right?
No. Yeah, it's not like that, So people have to understand the difference between fire sign and earth sign. Those who are more earthy and grounded and practical will have a better time from now for next 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are naturally more grounded, earthy and practical will have a better time for the next 20 years. People who are just stuck in their head and in the mind and that thing will have to face the music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that is very clear.
Very clear. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to understand there's a whole shift from an element called fire to an element called earth. It's a massive shift.
Okay. Massive shift. Do you see really practical, since this is earth sign, practical really revolution practically happening, not just in the form of words and protests, but really, really happening?
It has to be. Like I'm telling you, within 20 years, everything will change.
Yes.
Now, things can change quicker or later, depending on how the people are, how the masses respond.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Change will happen within the next 20.
Okay. The future as I will shape 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 the future as I